Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavad Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. This is Arvind Daksdas from Chicago. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Arvind Prabhujan. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for joining the call. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Anita Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Vinita Gandharvika Devi Dasi from Texas. Nice to see you, Mataji, after a long time. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji. Thank you so much for your wonderful voice. I'm also hearing after a long time, but still I will be going on YouTube to hear all your voices. So thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call. And please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Anita Mataji. This is Dasi from Baltimore. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj, and all the devotees. And Happy New Year and all the celebrated festivals. Hare Krishna. This is
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji, for that wonderful wishes for the celebrations which we are going on. And so we had a good Diwali and Govardhan Puja, and so all the wishes to all the devotees on the call. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Go ahead, Mataji. Go ahead, Radharani.
Hare Krishna, Anita Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. This is Radharani Devi Dasi from Baltimore. Good to see you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Radharani Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Anita Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharajas, and all glories to the assembled devotees. This is Tiffany in Pennsylvania, and yes, it is so good to see you again. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Tiffany Mataji. I will be so happy if I see your darshan also. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. There are wonderful devotees we are having here in Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call. And I really missed all of you for a long time. So I'm so happy to join you again. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna, Anita Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. This is Shamangori Devi Dasi from Chicago. Nice to see you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Shamadori Mataji, thank you so much, and very, very belated happy birthday to you. Though I have
Thank you, Mataji.
I want to wish you on the call. So I missed the live wishing. So I just want to take this opportunity to wish you the birthday wishes. Though it is very late, but still I want to go on with the wishes. So
Thank you, Mataji.
May Lord Shri Krishna bless you to give this wonderful services every day, today and every day. And may you have no birth again. You will go to Goloka with to serve him. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for all your wishes and blessings. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji, for engaging us also in this wonderful service. So thank you so much. And please accept my humble obeisances. Thank you, Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj, all glories to Assembly. This is Mohini Lakshmi from Detroit.
Hare Krishna, Mohini Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Anita Mataji, all glories to the Prabhupada and Guru Maharajis. My humble obeisances to you and all the devotees. This is Krishna Kumari Devi Dasi from Radha.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Kumari Devi Dasi Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Anta Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Gurudev, and all glories to assembled devotees. This is Radha from Baltimore.
Hare Krishna, Radha Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Anita Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and all the assembled devotees. This is Indulekha Karna Devi Dasi from Lincoln. And nice to see you back again, Mataji. Was missing you.
Hare Krishna, Indulekha Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji. I was actually thinking for a long time why Indulekha Mataji is not coming on Saturdays, but this is the finally I got to hear a voice on the call. So thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call. Please accept my humble obeisances, and I'm also very happy to join you all again. So all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. Mataji, we will move on to the recording.
Yes, Mataji.
Yes.
Hare Krishna. So I once again welcome all the devotees on the Bhakti Sangha Jabba conference call for the wonderful session today, which will be given by Her Grace Jayasri Devi Dasi Mataji on the topic of Glories of Srila Prabhupada. Please accept my humble obeisances, Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call. Before proceeding to the call, so I will hand over the call to Shureshwar Shyam Prabhuji for giving the introduction about Mataji. Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. I welcome you to the Bhakti Sangha Jabba conference call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. So we are very fortunate to have amidst us Her Grace Jayasri Mataji, disciple of Srila Prabhupada. Mataji met him in 1969 in Hawaii when she was barely 20 years old. She received her second initiation from Srila Prabhupada in October 1974. She is fondly remembered by all for being one who stitched a saffron coat for Srila Prabhupada, which was worn lovingly by Srila Prabhupada for many years. Her Grace Jayasri Mataji later moved to New Vrindavan and served the deities there. Though she still travels to other places as part of her multiple devotional service, but her main core service still rests in New Vrindavan. Vaishnava is always paradukha dukhi, thus very compassionate and kind at heart. We see that quality so prominent in Mataji. In wake of the COVID-19 pandemic, Mataji painstakingly stitched face masks for all age groups so that devotees can continue with uninterrupted service to Lord Shri Krishna. Hare Krishna, Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for that wonderful introduction about Mataji. Hare Krishna, Jayasri Mataji. Thank you so much for joining the call and giving your valuable time and association today to speak on the topic of Srila Prabhupada. So I will hand over the call to you, Mataji. Please take over, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Mataji, you are muted.
Okay, better?
Yes.
Yes. Always better if you're unmuted for a class. So good morning, everyone. Hare Krishna. Please accept my respect and obeisances. All glories to Sri Guru and Guranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to the assembled devotees. So I know it's not a Srimad Bhagavatam class, but maybe I'll chant a little bit. Just although I kind of sound like an old frog. And I'm going to have a little slideshow. So.
No, Mataji, you're so sweet, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
A sweet old croaking frog. Radha Madhava Kunjabi Hari Gopi Janabala Girivaradari Yasodanandana Vrajadana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabi Hari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama
Vishnupad Paramahansa Parvajakacharya Srila such as Divine Grace, Lisa Bhaktivedanta, Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parvajakacharya such as Divine Grace, Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada. Ananta Kota Vaishnava Nikijai Namacharya Sri Haridas Thakur ki Jai. Prem Sri Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shankar Radha Kunjiri Govardhan Ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Navadvip Dham Ki Jai. Ganga Maya Ki Jai. Jamuna Maya Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Srimati Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Samaveda Bhakti Vrinda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. Glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Om Jnana-timirandasya Gananjana Salakaya Chakshuram Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. Okay, sorry, I need to get a little organized here. We're born in the darkness of ignorance, but our spiritual masters kindly opening our eyes with the torchlight of knowledge, so we offer our respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of such a spiritual master. Okay, I am going to start a slideshow, hopefully. And hopefully share my screen. Okay, let's see. I had it already. Slideshow. I think it's nice to have a little kind of a slideshow. Okay, the slideshow's already running. So I didn't share my screen, and that's going to be a problem. So we'll try that again. I think there's a way to share my screen. Share screen. Okay, so where is it? Okay, can you see that?
Yes, Mataji. Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Okay, so it's just going to be a little slideshow. But then I lost everything else. I'm really not the greatest tech person here. Can I make it, I can't see my notes now.
Yes, Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
Okay. Mataji, if you want, you can just do Control Tab, and that would help you.
Okay,
between the screens.
Control Tab.
I think so.
Didn't do anything.
It doesn't do anything?
No. I want to minimize this or make it not a full screen, but it only gives me the option to exit.
Mataji, if you want, you can remove the slideshow so that you can go, after you click, you can get the other slide.
So
remove
exit
the slideshow you want.
Minimize? It doesn't seem to minimize.
Or Mataji, if you send it to Shamagauri Mataji, or one of us can actually display it while you can read your slides.
Okay, that would, well, I'm not really going to read the slides. I just want to
read your material. Yeah, if that's okay, Mataji.
Okay, so how do I send it to you? On the chat?
Yes. I don't know if it'll come in the chat.
It won't come in the chat, Mataji. You have WhatsApp web, Mataji. Web WhatsApp, do you use it?
Yeah, but I'm on my computer.
So over
Okay.
there, there's a URL that you can type, web.whatsapp.com.
Too complicated for me.
It's like I'll send the URL.
All right, let me try one more thing. Okay, got that.
You can just email to you. Email will be easy. Computer.
Yeah, because there might be so many pictures. That's why email doesn't allow capacity more than 25 MB, I think.
So, okay, well, that's too bad. I really rather look at Srila Prabhupada than me. All right, so let's try one more thing. It seems like you should be able to do the slideshow. Yeah, it takes over the whole screen.
It counts to the full screen. So you want to open both the screens, Mataji?
I know what I can do. I'm kind of wasting everyone's
Just
time.
escape this one.
Yeah.
No, Mataji, not at all, Mataji. You are working so hard at this age with the technology. I am so, wonder how can you do this much, Mataji? You're really great, Mataji.
I'm not old. I'm just in the youth of old age, as they say. I mean, look what Prabhupada did. He started at an age that I'm at. He just came from India. And me, I'm just like slowly moving along.
Tiffany
You are great, Mataji.
Tiffany Mataji is giving some suggestion in chat. Please go on, Mataji. Indaleka Mataji.
Yeah, no problem. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put the slideshow on, and I printed it. Okay, so you can see the slideshow, right?
Yes, Mataji. Perfect.
Yes.
Mataji. Perfect.
Yes, Mataji.
All right, so that's better. Wow, I printed so many pages. But it prints from back to front, so I can't start until it prints the first page. So we know tomorrow is Prabhupada's disappearance day, I believe. I got that right, which is an important part of the year, remembering Srila Prabhupada, although we have so many great personalities in our ISKCON movement that are doing so many wonderful things. We don't want to forget the foundation of everything, which is His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada's been gone for many years now. And this is the 125th anniversary of Prabhupada's life and legacy. And so we want to be sure to remember Prabhupada along with all of the other great souls. So in the Srimad Bhagavatam, it talks about, there's 4:20:16, where Vishnu speaks to King Prithu. My dear king, I'm very captivated by your elevated qualities and excellent behavior, and thus I'm very favorably inclined towards you. You may therefore ask for me any benediction you like. One who does not possess elevated qualities and behavior cannot possibly achieve my favor, simply by performance of sacrifice, severe austerities, and mystic yoga. But I always remain equipoised in the heart to one who is also equipoised in all circumstances. Purport. Lord Vishnu was very pleased with Maharaj Prithu's good character and behavior and offered him a benediction. The Lord openly says that performing great sacrifices and undergoing the austerities of mystic yogic practice cannot satisfy him. He is pleased only by the elevated character and behavior. But these cannot develop unless one becomes a pure devotee of the Lord. Anyone who has developed unalloyed, unflinching devotional service unto the Lord develops his original good qualities as spirit soul. The spirit soul, as part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, has all of the good qualities of the Lord. When the spirit soul is contaminated by the material modes of nature, one is considered good or bad with reference to material qualities. But when one is transcendental to all material qualities, all the good qualities come out. These qualities of a devotee, 26 in number, are listed as follows. So we understand that Srila Prabhupada was not just a good person, he was not just a devotee, he was a pure devotee of the Lord. And we know that he was extremely empowered by the Lord to do a certain mission. And we know that his qualities were extraordinary, actually. So it says to meet such an exalted devotee is very rare. Like the ocean has logs floating in it, and the little turtle, he's swimming under the ocean. He comes up, he puts his head right through the knothole of one of those logs. It says that's how rare it is to meet such a great devotee. So what are the 26 qualities of a devotee that Srila Prabhupada possessed? Kind to everyone. Srila Prabhupada showed by his example that he was very kind to everyone, including the non-devotees, the animals, the insects, all the non-moving entities like the trees. We know different stories of Srila Prabhupada, like at John Lennon's estate, going out when he was leaving to say goodbye to the trees. And there was a tree in the courtyard in Hawaii. Prabhupada said never to cut. Prabhupada had the capability of not only having those relationships with other living entities, but teaching us how the insects that are annoying us sometimes are actually, he said we should chant to them and help them. I mean, who has that kind of vision? In his room in Radha Damodar, when Prabhupada was living there, he left the spiders. When one of his disciples cleaned the spider webs, he said, what have you done? You know, he said that's their house, these spider webs. So Prabhupada was kind to everyone. 2, does not quarrel with anyone or does not make anyone his enemy. So here we are in Kali Yuga. There's so much quarreling, right? Over small things. But we see that the lives of the Goswamis, they were loved by everyone, right? They were loved by even the dacoits respected. So Srila Prabhupada was one of those persons. He didn't ruffle the feathers of people. Of course, he did in his preaching sometimes. I mean, the Goswamis weren't living in Kali Yuga like we are. And Prabhupada, to make a point and to dismiss the ignorance of some puffed up personalities, he would get strong. But you won't see him, he wasn't like quarreling with anyone. He was defeating them perhaps, but not on the platform of mundane quarreling, right? This was not Prabhupada's way at all. So number 3, fixed in the absolute truth. So it means the one is truthful. In a lecture by Srila Prabhupada, the devotee The life of a devotee is already explained that he is fixed up in God. He has no other business than to think of God, talk of God, preach of God. He's a devotee. So Srila Prabhupada, what did Prabhupada do? Every step, everything he did was all about Krishna. He didn't take time to go shopping and to dress fancy and to do anything for himself, basically. Totally selfless, traveling all over the world at that age. Just giving people Krishna consciousness hour after hour, tirelessly. Srila Prabhupada was so fixed in Krishna consciousness. I mean, we have the opportunity and we surround ourselves with pictures and books and we go to the temple, but we're on our own. Prabhupada was on his own for some time in America. What was he doing? He was just working towards his preaching. How many people would have been able to maintain that? Number 4, equal to everyone. In many places, it says that the Lord is equal to everyone, and a pure devotee is also equal to everyone. As the cloud drops rain indiscriminately, so the pure devotee gives his mercy to everyone, especially in this age. And we see that Prabhupada didn't discriminate. Who were the people that Prabhupada preached to? Did he come to the West and say, oh, I'm going to preach to the upper class. I'm going to preach to people that can give me money. I'm going to preach only in this situation. Prabhupada went to the opportunity. He sat, Prabhupada from an elevated family in India, an aristocratic person. Prabhupada was so aristocratic. And he came over at such an age. And what did he do? He sat in the park with the hippies. If you've ever associated, which of course most of you are too young to have associated with hippies, they're dirty and can do anything and eat anything and have sex with anyone and smoke, take any kind of drug. It's not that they had any qualification at all. But that was Prabhupada's audience. And he just so angelic in Tompkins Square Park, surrounded by these crazy young people, and chanted ching 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 ching. And he didn't even have a mridanga. Someone had given him a bongo drum, and Prabhupada sat there in Tompkins Square Park and preached and chanted. He was equal to everyone, just indiscriminately. Number 5, faultless. No one can find fault with them. The Srimad Bhagavatam 3:132. When Akrura came to Vrindavan in search of Krishna, he saw the footprints of the Lord in the dust of Nandagram, and at once he fell on them in ecstasy and transcendental love. This ecstasy is possible for a devotee who is fully absorbed in incessant thoughts of Krishna. Such a pure devotee of the Lord is actually faultless, because he's always associated with the supreme pure personality of God's head. Constant thought of the Lord is the antiseptic method for keeping oneself free from the infectious contamination of material qualities. The pure devotee of the Lord is always in the company of the Lord and thinking. A letter to Bhatu Gopal. You must all become ideal in your character, and then people will be very impressed with such purity. A devotee is faultless. He has no flaws. So Prabhupada kept himself he was situated in such a position that he was in constant contact with the Lord. We know that the books that he wrote were in consultation with the Supreme Lord. This was Prabhupada's position. He was able to have that connection. So because of his elevated position and purity, he's a faultless person. Very rare. And I have to say, it doesn't matter really if one hears this from the scripture. Just when you met Srila Prabhupada, although you were totally absorbed in material nature, by Krishna's causeless mercy, you come across Srila Prabhupada in your life. You can see who he is. Nobody had to tell me when I met Srila Prabhupada. There was no devotees around. Krishna just put me at Prabhupada's feet by some causeless mercy. But I could see who he was. You could see that he was faultless. You could see that he was a direct representation or representative of the Lord. Amazing qualities, Prabhupada. Number 6, charitable, magnanimous, big-hearted, selfless. So Srila Prabhupada was charitable. He gave the world transcendental knowledge and direction. He didn't just sit in Vrindavan and enjoy his ecstasy. This Prabhupada's charity was far beyond what anyone is capable of doing on the mundane plane. Prabhupada's charity was selflessly done, and he gave everything, his whole life, basically. But we know in later years, he gave us transcendental knowledge and direction. And what else did he give us? He gave us the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. What would we do without this? All the books, all the pictures, all the association, all the festivals, all the temples, all the holy places. Prabhupada gave us this. Prabhupada opened these doors. Prabhupada gave this direction. Prabhupada is the founder Acharya. Amazing, actually. He didn't open hospitals. He didn't have time. If Prabhupada had been with us for 50 years, I'm sure he would have done so many more things. But what he set was the base. And his level of charity was to save the souls. What does it do? You put a bandage on someone, you put him in a hospital, you give him some medicine. It's great. Nothing wrong with that at all. But Prabhupada was dealing with saving humanity, right? Saving humanity from this very difficult and dark time. This was Prabhupada's charity. So number 7, mild. Well, what does mild mean? Compassionate, forgiving, merciful. And all these terms, it's the Srila Prabhupada. His compassion for humanity was obvious. Prabhupada was the most compassionate soul. How can someone, when we're engrossed in materialism, we have no compassion. We might somewhere be able to pick up some compassion for the dolphins or for the whales or for the Aborigines or for the whatever, rivers. But when someone has the compassion that Srila Prabhupada had, he lifts humanity up. And then with that upliftment, then they have the ability to have compassion on other living entities. He was only concerned with serving the humanity. When Prabhupada was here, the deprogrammers, they were deprogramming, they were taking devotees out of temples at the wish of their parents. They were being paid, and they would try to deprogram from being a devotee. And Prabhupada didn't strike back. He didn't send gundas after them. He just, he was forgiving, but at the same time strong. He said, the dogs will bark, but the caravan will pass. I thought that was quite unique. So he dealt with it in a certain way. Okay. Clean. Srila Prabhupada was super clean. super clean. When he was in Detroit and we were in the Fish Mansion, we moved into this huge, palatial, extraordinarily fancy mansion. You wouldn't believe the wealth of that mansion. And Prabhupada had a beautiful room, huge, heavy curtains, not like we buy at Walmart. These were special made, you know, for like a stage. Everything in that place was just amazing. So Prabhupada had a beautiful room with very expensive rugs. And what did Prabhupada do? He immediately told them to cover the carpets with white sheets because he was so clean. He said, you can't see the dirt in these carpets. They're dirty. He wanted cleanliness. So they were covered in white sheets. And so when I'm in Florida, I have a little place in the Alachua. I usually go in the winter, and I cover I have a carpet because the floor is so cold. But I cover it with a white sheet, and you'd be surprised how dirty that white sheet gets in just a day. You know, little pieces of this. I mean, Prabhupada was so meticulous. And when Prabhupada came to Hawaii, one time I was delegated to cover made bolsters because Prabhupada sat at his desk and he had a bolster behind him, a couple of bolsters, big one and a small one, and then some on the side, because when he would take his nap in the daytime, he would just lean back and take his nap on the bolster. So we bought this blue velveteen and I covered it, and Prabhupada came. And the next day, the bolsters were given back to me. And I was told to cover them in white cotton, because the blue didn't show the dirt. Prabhupada wanted it clean. Who taught us to wash our clothes every day? Prabhupada. Who taught us to take 1, 2, 3 baths a day? Srila Prabhupada. I mean, Malati was telling me one time how she was carrying some garbage in one hand, and then she had something else that was for the altar in the other hand. And Prabhupada looked at her. He said, you've contaminated what you're carrying because you're carrying garbage. That's very clean. So number 9, simple. He's without possessions. That's what, in this case, what simple means. So Srila Prabhupada started with nothing, right? Prabhupada came to America with nothing, a bag of cereal, a bunch of books, a few sets of clothes. You know, Prabhupada was extremely simple. And then as ISKCON grew, you know, money was coming in. Lots of money. When do we ever hear Srila Prabhupada with his own account for himself? A bank account where he bought his Learjet and mansion and went shopping and bought all kinds of fancy things for himself. Nothing, never. Prabhupada was simple to the max, right? He was renounced. 10, benevolent, which means kind and warm-hearted, caring. And that was Prabhupada's disposition. Prabhupada was very benevolent all the time. He wasn't like in a bad mood one day and throwing things and, oh, this didn't work out. Why did these people do this? He wasn't like up and down in the modes of nature. Prabhupada was just benevolent. This was his nature. Number 11, peaceful. Right? Prabhupada wasn't riled by things that were going on. I mean, he was strong sometimes. I'm sure he yelled at disciples, but for what? You know, he was correcting them for their own good. But overall, Prabhupada was extremely peaceful. Just being around him brought you into the atmosphere of Vrindavan, actually. So number 12, completely attached to Krishna, always surrender to Krishna. Prabhupada's life shows this quality. He was, from his youth, he got his deities. He wanted to do the Rath Yatra. He wanted to go to Puri. He had very great qualities. His whole life, Prabhupada was attached to Krishna. And that's to the extreme. Prabhupada was attached to Krishna. 13, no material hankerings. Right? Prabhupada wasn't after name and fame. He wasn't after building himself a house. He wasn't after establishing himself in this world. He did his duty. He did his role as a sannyasi and as a guru, but he wasn't attached to it. He wasn't hankering after how popular he was and how many people were coming to him. He was after people coming to Krishna and to the teachings and to changing their life. It wasn't about him. And it was obvious when you were around Srila Prabhupada, it wasn't about him. Number 14 is meek, enduring injury with patience and without resentment. Prabhupada was that type of person. He didn't lash out. When someone came in, when he was in the middle of a big program and people were making protests, oh, you're like this, and why are you sitting on this big chair, and who do you think you are? What did he do? I'm simply the servant of everyone. Or, he didn't bicker back with them. Well, I'm the founder of this movement, and I should have a big chair, and I'm so great. And Prabhupada was meek. He endured these trials and tribulations in a very humble way, without resentment. Number 15 is steady or fixed. The realizations of a devotee should be so profound that his dedication to his spiritual master and Krishna cannot be influenced anymore by various temptations, suffering, or opposing philosophy. That's what steady and fixed. So we know that Prabhupada had this quality. He was extremely fixed in his service to Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj. What brought him across the ocean? He was in Vrindavan. He had a room at the Radha Damodar temple. What greater, the hub of the universe, the spiritual universe, the Radha Damodar temple. Rupa Goswami Samadhi's there. There's different, I can't remember who Samadhi's there. The Radha Damodar deities. But he was so fixed in his service to a spiritual master and to the instruction of a spiritual master. At risk, great risk, Prabhupada came across the ocean and went to New York because he was so fixed and steady in his service to Guru and Krishna. 16, self-controlled. He controls his senses. So Prabhupada was, we know, is a very self-controlled. Bhagavad-Gita 2:59. Though the embodied soul may be restricted from sense enjoyment, the taste for sense object remains. But ceasing such engagement by experiencing a higher taste, he is fixed in consciousness. So this is Srila Prabhupada. His higher taste was there. Prabhupada was tasting his service to Krishna. So what did he need from this dirty Kali Yuga material world? What is there here? Just a bunch of nasty things that people consider glorious, something to have. Women, wine, all different kinds of sense gratification movies. This is not, Prabhupada wasn't like that. 17, does not eat more than required. We know that Srila Prabhupada had a very steady diet. Here, this picture has Prabhupada's cooker. I think it was 5-tiered cooker. Prabhupada ate the same type of diet regularly. His dal, his rice, his chapatis, and his fruit, his yogurt. He ate very simply. And he didn't eat more than he needed. Look at Prabhupada, he's so thin. He didn't get fat like so many rich people. Oh, I have servants now. I can have kachoris and ladus and samosas and halava. And, he ate very simply. Such a nice example. Number 18 is sane. He's not influenced by the Lord's illusory energy. We see so much insanity, even in ourselves. Sorry. We're not pure devotees yet. Well, some of you may be, I'm not. And our mind is just like, wow, all over the place. But Prabhupada wasn't like that. He wasn't like this one day and like that another day. He was fixed in what he wanted, what he knew was right, and he just went on. 19 is respectful. He offers respects to everyone. And Prabhupada was like that. Although so respected, Prabhupada was respectful to everyone. He could deal with a bunch of dirty hippies so kindly because he actually respected the fact that they were part and parcel of Krishna. Somehow or other they'd fallen down. 20, humble. He doesn't desire any respect for himself, which is, of course, one of Lord Chaitanya's prayers, to be more humble than the grass and not to expect any respect for yourself. Once in Hawaii, we set up there's a big theater on the University of Hawaii campus. And it was a speaking engagement was set up for Srila Prabhupada. And I don't know exactly what happened, but nobody came. I think one person or two people came. And they had the Vyasasana up on the stage and devotees were all there and nobody showed up. And Prabhupada just humbly sat down, chanted, and gave a class to an empty hall, basically. He didn't go, I'm not going to speak here. There's nobody here. I'm so important. He just sat down without remark and gave a class. Amazing. 21, grave. And that's one of the things Prabhupada told me. He said, be very serious always. So, Prabhupada was always looking for an opportunity to spread Krishna consciousness. And his gravity was contagious. So 22 is compassionate. The essence of compassion is the distribution of transcendental knowledge. So this was Prabhupada's display of compassion. Save the souls. You can't save the body. The body's going to perish. All the bodies, all the living entities, their body's going to perish today or tomorrow. You can't stop the wars. You can't stop the materialistic demons. But if you distribute transcendental knowledge and uplift humanity, then you can help save everything. And he does mention in different places how it will show in history how this Hare Krishna movement saved humanity. 23 is friendly. Prabhupada was super friendly. You didn't even have to know Srila Prabhupada or be a disciple. When I met Srila Prabhupada, he was so kind and friendly. And he'd never seen me before. He knew nothing about me. Here was this young, skinny hippie girl at my door. So he invited me in. He sat me down. I was with a friend. He offered us sugar cane, fresh sugar cane, just very kind and sweet and friendly. He was like meeting your best friend that you've been looking for, because he was with Krishna, and Krishna is our best friend. So 24 is poetic. Poetic. Prabhupada was poetic in everything he did. His writings, his speaking. Prabhupada had such great qualities. Number 25 is expert. Prabhupada did everything expert, from the way he held his hand, the way he chanted, the way he directed things, the temples he built. Amazing. Prabhupada was so expert. 26 is silence. Prabhupada was silent. A pure devotee silent. That means, as Prabhupada said, he only speaks about Krishna. Right? One who's silent, it's not that he takes a vow of man, that he sits there and is silent. It means that he's only talking about Krishna and things pertaining to Krishna. That's real silence. So I wanted to add this because I think this is glorious. Who is Srila Prabhupada? That he had such an effect on humanity. Look at the result. So it says that Lord Chaitanya predicted that his holy name would be broadcast in every town and village of the world. The acharyas of his sampradaya predicted that the spread of Krishna consciousness would usher in a 10,000 golden year age within the dark age of Kali. In the Sri Chaitanya Mangala, a biography of Chaitanya, that was written in 1537 by Lochan Das Thakur, Lord Chaitanya foretold the coming of an empowered devotee who would take the Sankirtan movement, the Sankirtan process everywhere. I want to flood the whole world with the chanting of the holy names. I will personally preach and flood India with Harinam Sankirtan, chanting of the holy names. And my son Pati Bhakta, the great devotee commander, will come, preach in different countries, and flood the world with the chanting of Hare Krishna. Right? This means that Sri Chaitanya came to establish and spread the process of congregational chanting of Krishna's names in India. There would be a great devotee who would appear and spread it throughout the world. Prabhupada was not just a pure devotee. Prabhupada was a special pure devotee that was empowered, that came to do a great mission. Later in the 1800s, Bhaktivinoda Thakur predicted in his magazine, Sajanatosani, in an article called Nityananda Surodaya, soon there will be a time when chanting of Krishna's names will be heard in England, France, Russia, Germany, and America. In this regard, Bhaktivinoda also wrote in 1895, Sriman Mahaprabhu did not descend with his associates to deliver a certain number of human beings in the land of India, but rather his purpose was to deliver and uplift all living beings in all countries of the world by practicing the eternal religion of all souls. In the same article, Bhaktivinoda questioned, when will that day come when all greatly fortunate souls take up banners, drums, and hand cymbals and cause the ecstatic waves of Harinam Kirtan and the singing of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's holy name to rise in the streets of their towns and cities. Bhaktivinoda could see how the Sankirtan process would be taken in the near future to the Western countries, and indeed all over the planet. In fact, in 1875, Bhaktivinoda Thakur also predicted a personality will soon appear to preach the teachings of Lord Chaitanya and move unrestrictedly over the world with his message. So who is Srila Prabhupada? Prabhupada had the qualities of a pure devotee, for sure. But he was a very rare and special pure devotee. And look at what he did. The predictions are there from the Lord and from the different teachers, Lochandas Thakur, Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Srila Prabhupada set the foundation with his humility and his tolerance and his compassion. He spread Krishna consciousness and uplifted the world with pure devotional service, with the facility, and it's grown and spread. This branch, this tree of Lord Chaitanya is all over the world. And people of all different races and from different countries and backgrounds and heritage have picked up the banner of Lord Chaitanya and are spreading it in every town and village, right? Srila Prabhupada was exceptional, not just a pure devotee. I like that it's the commander-in-chief, of Lord Chaitanya's movement, with such grace and humility. So I better check and see the time. I'm sorry. Okay, we have a little more time, I think. Also, I wanted to remind everyone that there is a website called the Bhaktivedanta Vedic Library and distributebooks.com where we can, at least with the Bhaktivedanta Vedic Library, you can stream Prabhupada's books with their purports. You can stream them and download them, and it's free. And this is a mission of one of Prabhupada's disciples, Tulsi Das, who lives here in New Vrindavan. He spent hundreds and thousands of dollars to get this done in a very professional way. So, let's see. Anyway, so Srila Prabhupada brought us this wonderful movement, and we should take advantage of it. Prabhupada's Disappearance Day and Prabhupada's Appearance Day are there so that we can remember in a concentrated way Srila Prabhupada. And along with our own teachers and spiritual masters and all the other wonderful books that have come into ISKCON's purview, we should always remember that Prabhupada's books are not to be forgotten, and neither are Prabhupada's teachings and Prabhupada himself. He's not to be replaced. He's the founder of ISKCON, and we see the great devotees that are taking on the responsibility of being gurus and preaching in Prabhupada's footsteps, always acknowledge the fact that they're learning and have learned from Srila Prabhupada. They're not trying to replace Srila Prabhupada. And when I've seen this in the past, that someone is replaced, they fall down with a big crash. So you want to be always mindful to keep Prabhupada in our daily devotional service and remember him, especially on his appearance and disappearance. So I think it's time for me to stop. And so if anyone has any questions or comments, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. Thank you so much for that wonderful class, speaking about Prabhupada with by explaining all the 26 devotional qualities. And
So the slides were very wonderful, Mataji. So if it is possible for you to share with us, please share it with Shama Gauri Mataji, so she can share it in the group also. So thank you so much, Mataji, for that wonderful class. And so devotees, if any questions and realizations, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
A couple things. One is when you were speaking about what was available just now when recording or something, the connection was...
Bhaktivedanta Vedic Library.
Yes, and you were saying that there we could find what?
Prabhupada's books. Prabhupada's books are read. They're audio books. Prabhupada's books with their purports are read. So we can,
okay.
You can listen to them anytime. You can download them. And
okay.
It's free.
Thank you. Also, this one quality of being grave, can you just elaborate on that part a little bit more?
Well, I mean, the word gravity means that you're basically focused, you've kept your mind in a sober place. You're realizing the predicament you're in. You're in the Kali Yuga, right? You're going to have death any moment, who knows when. And it's serious. You need to be serious always. So your gravity outweighs your frivolous mentality, right? So you're facing the day and you're not thinking, oh, I'm going to do this. It's going to be so much fun. I'm going to wear this and I'm so pretty. And, you're thinking that may be there, but your overall look is one of, okay, what am I going to do today? I need to chant my better rounds. I'm going to do this type of puja, or I'm going to read. You need to keep in the forefront the seriousness of the situation. It's not a fun ride. The Kali Yuga this time, well, everyone's trying to make it fun. Okay, you can do this. It'll be so much fun. Take your selfie. You're so this. It's so that. It's go here. Drink this. It's like it's the illusion of the time, but it's false. We're in a serious predicament. We're in a material body that's not fun. There's this pain, that pain, and when you're young, maybe not so much so. But I'll tell you, give it a few years. Old age is definitely properly classified as one of the four miseries: birth, death, old age, and disease. It's like last night, my big toe has some kind of a swell on it. My one leg has some kind of a sciatica thing happening. And then my back, from lifting a bunch of stuff, my back is hurting and I'm trying to sleep and I couldn't sleep. It's like this pain, that pain. We're in a serious situation. That's gravity. We don't want to forget our actual predicament. We want to keep that in our day. Prabhupada said that the intelligent person remembers that death is there, because then it brings him back. It's not like we're sadists or something like that. Oh, we're always thinking about death, and that's not it. But the fact that, okay, I have to be serious today. I can't waste time. I'm not a pure devotee. I haven't made a great advancement, so I have another day to be able to make that advancement and please Krishna and follow the instructions of my spiritual master. This is our opportunity. So our gravity is necessary to go forward.
Thank you so much. Yes, thank you very much, Jayasri.
Hare Krishna. Any other devotees, any questions or realizations? Please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. Dandavat Pranam. Beautiful, beautiful class, Mataji. And you were explaining all the qualities of a devotee. It was so nice to hear how Srila Prabhupada himself has this all qualities, and he gave all the devotees, like especially initially, all the devotees doesn't know anything about cleanliness or what is, God worship, everything they have learned, and they are now preaching, and so that we all now got Krishna consciousness because of all of you, Mataji. We are really very, very grateful to you. You are showing us the path, and also teaching us how to be as a good disciple. Thank you, Mataji. And pictures were so beautiful. I think some of the pictures even I don't get in the Google. You have those pictures with you. This is treasure, Mataji. We want those pictures. Please.
Oh, okay, sure. I am happy to send them to if I can.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much. Please bless us, Mataji, that we also have that kind of taste that you have in Krishna consciousness. Because 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, sometimes after many years we lose, taste. Means, oh, same thing every day we are doing. You don't feel that enthusiasm. Sometimes we feel like that is a little bit dropping because every day we are doing same. But you have passed so many years in Krishna consciousness. Your enthusiasm is so high, Mataji. Please bless us so that we also have this, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji, with your sweet association today. I was so happy. Hari Bol.
Hari Bol. Yeah, carrying on for so many years. I mean, there's different reasons. It's not that every day we're blissful, and of course, somehow or other, I have placed myself, I guess, or had the opportunity to live in New Vrindavan. And New Vrindavan there's just so much going on, and I know that it's easier to have, well, like today, for instance. Okay, last night we had an extremely great festival. There were several hundred devotees. We had such wonderful prasadam. We had a play. We had singing, and then we had kirtan, a wonderful kirtan, and bhajans, and an abhishek. And then today, okay, there's a class this morning. I do tours at the palace later. And this evening, they need help in the restaurant, so I'm going to go help there. So it's always, New Vrindavan's just such a blessing. So I don't know how much I'd be doing if I was living outside. That would be maybe a little more challenging. But I don't know. I don't know how I've been able to keep on going. Just Krishna's mercy and making sure I'm in the right association. Part of it's not that it's always blissful, but at the same time, it is. At the same time, what would I rather be doing? What would you rather be doing? If your puja or whatever you're doing becomes kind of hackneyed, kind of like, oh, I got to do this again, try and find another way to do it differently. Add something or consult with somebody else and see the way they do it, or I don't know. And I definitely believe chanting your rounds every day makes a difference. It really does make a difference. If you put anything down from your worship, don't put down your rounds. And try and purify the way you chant. Become more serious, more attentive. The chanting is the basis. It's the Hare Krishna movement. We're the Hare Krishna people. So if we put down one thing, don't put down your rounds. I really do think that is the base for a spiritual foundation and strength. Somehow or other, I've always managed to chant my rounds. But not always with, I don't always start off with great enthusiasm, but it's a duty. It's a promise, right? If you're initiated, it's a promise to the spiritual master. So you do it. And then with doing it, you get certain tastes. And even, I mean, what did Krishna do? He attracted the residents of Vrindavan, and then he left. And what do we hear? That separation is the highest. Lord Chaitanya, what was he doing? His whole example was one of separation. Krishna, where are you? Krishna, Krishna, where are you? So our chanting may not be, oh, I see Krishna face to face. But Krishna, where are you? Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. You know, it's like we're searching for Krishna. So sometimes Krishna comes our way in different ways. He's more present in our consciousness. And sometimes it's our duty to chant. But then we do it with, oh, where is that feeling of devotion? Where, Krishna, where are you? So that's our opportunity.
Okay. Yes, Mataji. Yes, Mataji. Thank you so much. Yes, Mataji. That, yeah, as you said, the chanting is the main thing. Whatever it might be someday, other things we are not doing properly, at least chanting is needed. Thank you, Mataji. So sweet.
We're fortunate. We're so fortunate to have these opportunities.
Yes, Mataji, so true. And you are living in New Vrindavan. Actually, my desire is to visit New Vrindavan from long time. After I came to know that Srila Prabhupada says that this is a Vrindavan in America. In India, there is another Vrindavan. From that time, I have a desire, but never, always I plan it, always it's cancelling. Some or other way, I have postponing it. Please bless me so that one day I come over there and visit you, Mataji.
Actually, there's a plaque. We had some plaques made, big stone plaques. And one of them in the front of the temple, it says, it's in a letter from Srila Prabhupada, and he says, there every day I am praying for the success of New Vrindavan. But it's better written. But Prabhupada knew that New Vrindavan had great ability. New Vrindavan is a special place. And he said there's no difference between that Vrindavan and this Vrindavan. New Vrindavan is not, it's not an ordinary place. Although when you live here, you know, you have ordinary dealings, but that's our lack of consciousness. It is a dham, and the palace is a pushpa samadhi. And it's a very potent place. So please do come. You can buy land. We're going to be selling land, developed land with roads and everything. So you can build your retirement home here. All right, I think it's time.
Thank you so much, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Bless us all to come to Vrindavan. Though Prabhupada has told wherever we live, if we are worshipping Krishna, it is our Vrindavan, but still we are hankering to go to Vrindavan also in person. So bless us all to have that connection with Vrindavan and come there soon. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Shamagari Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Shamagari. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All Guru to Srila. Thank you so much, Mataji, for giving us a mood of worshipping Srila Prabhupada. We are very, very grateful to Srila Prabhupada for giving us such a wonderful moment. We know it can take us go home back to Godhead, and it's like Srila Prabhupada is not just a guru, he was the creator of gurus. He has given so many gurus and so many Matajis like you know, you Malti Mataji, Yamuna Mataji, all this, you know, they have seen Srila Prabhupada and they serve him and they became like him. So we are so, you know, blessed and so fortunate to be in this moment. We are grandchildren of Srila Prabhupada. We have to, take the moment, and please bless us. We should have dedication like you have. Everybody was so dedicated to Srila Prabhupada. Whatever Prabhupada said, they won't ask why. They means like, if Srila Prabhupada said jump, and they don't say ask why. They say how high. Means like so like that. They were ready all the time. So we should have that mood.
Very perfect, Mataji. Thank you so
Yeah,
much,
thank
Mataji.
you so much. It's looking at your life, we can see how dedicated you are. At the age of 70, you are still doing so much like a young girl. You were saying you were just a young girl when you met Srila Prabhupada, and you are carrying that mood still now.
Till now, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a wannabe young girl. I forget how old I am sometimes. and then my body reminds me, okay, slow down.
Yeah. Yes, Mataji.
We're really fortunate to have your association, Mataji.
We are really,
So
really
with such
fortunate.
exalted devotee,
anyway,
who
thank
has
you.
lived with the Prabhupada, we are really fortunate to see you and have your darshan. Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare
All
Krishna.
right, everybody. Thank you so much for your
Yeah.
association.
Lalita
So
Mataji, you
devotees,
want to
let's
speak?
Oh, please.
Lalita Mataji.
I just sent her a direct text chat. I said that every time she speaks, all she does is glorify Srila Prabhupada. Every few sentences is another anecdote and reason to praise Srila Prabhupada. It's the constant mode of her speech. She's most exalted. So I was so happy to see you were giving today's tributes to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Mataji.
Yes, thank you. I mean, how can you not? I mean, Prabhupada's the reason. He's the what is it they say for Christmas? Jesus is the reason for the season. So Prabhupada is the reason for the season.
Yes.
Hare Krishna. So
I'm not in the category with Malachi and Jamuna and some of these other devotees, but Krishna's been kind. He's given me the loving friendship of these ladies, and it's only to my great satisfaction and advancement. So I'm happy Krishna put me in the place that he put me in this birth. I just hope the next birth I can do better.
Yeah, everybody's thinking like that, Mataji. See, every day is like that. Today what we did, we should do more tomorrow, like that plan. So yeah.
What a wonderful meditation. We're not thinking about the next cup of coffee and the next football game so much. We're not thinking about all these things. We're thinking about the next opportunity and service to render. And yeah, we're fortunate. Prabhupada's changed our lives.
Janaki Mataji, please go ahead if you have any questions.
Yes, Hare Krishna, devotees, Hare Krishna, Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Mataji, thank you for sharing the Vedic library resource with us. I just wanted you to connect me to the devotee whose initiative that is. I am interested in connecting with that person.
Okay, yes, that would be great. I mean, Advaita, I work still, just because I started a job and they need me. So, but it's with Tulsi Das, who is the person who built the Durban Temple. He was also one of the original LA Temple presidents, Bombay also, and Denver. And he moved to New Vrindavan about 20 years ago, and he's wealthy. He's given over $1 million to the TOVP. He started some successful businesses, but he lives in a beautiful ranch-style house, but occupies one room. He does nothing with his time except for different projects, and the business that he's started, that he's trying to sell, is a vegan jerky business, which is very successful. But he's 76 now or something like that, and 78. He wants to retire, but he needs to sell the business. So with his money, he did the Bhaktivedanta Vedic Library. And he gets so excited. When I went into the office the other day, he was telling me about his next new idea. He wants to do this and he wants to do that, or travel on a boat, to get an RV and travel throughout India, and have another one and have cooks and open the RV up and do programs. He's just got all these ideas and he's got money. So he did the Vedic Library and he paid everybody who helped with it, because he feels strongly about supporting the lives of the devotees that live here. And Advaita Acharya, who is another godbrother, works with him. And Advaita, you'll see on that website, does the cooking classes. Advaita's a great cook, and he does the cooking classes.
Mataji, how do you...
So Advaita's the type of person that can call Radhanath Maharaj on the phone. They talk, and they're just old friends from years ago in New Vrindavan. So, they're the ones to connect with. I can give you a phone number.
Sure. Yes, Mataji.
Okay, 304-845-2192. And Tulsi will answer that number. I wouldn't call him on the weekend. I would wait until the weekday when he's down in his office. His weekend, he's got heart trouble right now, and I think it's better you call him during the week. He's in the office, which is right downstairs in his house, from 9 in the morning till 3 in the afternoon, Monday through Thursday, Friday 9 till 12. You can just give him a call. He'll be happy to hear from you, I'm sure.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. I would really appreciate if I could help in some way. Thank you so much for sharing, Mataji.
Okay.
And hopefully, I would like to see you in person whenever whenever I'm in New Vrindavan. Thank you.
Yeah, you just have to come up, because I'm not going to remember you by a blank screen with your name and a hand. Anyway,
Yes,
there's so
Mataji.
many people that come through here. So yeah, just remind me.
Absolutely. Hari Bol, Dandavat Pranam.
All right. Hare Krishna.
Lalita Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you. We actually can't thank you enough. Every time you speak, your heart is filled with love for Srila Prabhupada. Like I would say that, many of Srila Prabhupada's disciples are like fully filled, nectar-filled pots. Just a little touch, you would start pouring out the nectar, and that's what we feel. And that is we are so fortunate to hear these accounts firsthand from you. And we hope to serve you some way. We cannot repay this debt, but we hope to eternally serve you and assist you in some way possible in your service to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mataji. So, devotees, if no more questions, we'll end up the call here. Let's pay our obeisances to Mataji. Vancha kalpa trupasya kripa sindhubhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Anta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Her Grace Jayasri Mataji ki jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji.
Thank you so much for your
All devotees on the Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call ki a big jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everyone.
Very bold.
Have a wonderful day.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.
So we have parikrama right now, Mataji. So Shamagari Mataji, yeah, we have parikrama, right?
Yes, Mataji, we have, but it's Padmasakhi Mataji.
Yeah, she's there because no school for children, right? She's already there. She's already there on the call. Mataji, on your video, Padmasaki Mataji.
I switched it on.
No,
It's
I
there.
can.
Yeah,
Oh, we
she's
can
there
see.
on.
her.
I am there on 2 devices.
Okay, okay. I have to give you the co-host on.
Thank you all so much for staying back. Today we will do our day 17 parikrama. But before that, we will see. On the way, we are going to Nandagaon from Barsana now. So we have very, very, very beautiful places even here. So we'll start. We'll seek blessings of Srimati Radharani, Sri Krishna, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, Srila Prabhupada, and all the Guru Parampara, so that they will bless us to finish this parikrama successfully. Somebody is unmuted. Lot of disturbance.
Muted, Mataji, muted.
Okay. Oh, before that, actually, okay. So this is our route map. So we ended here at Lala Ladli Temple. So Shriji Mandir was on Bhangad. As we said, Barsana has 4, right? Mangad, Dangad, Vilasgad, and Bhangad. So Shriji Mandir is on Bhangad. And Vilasgad, yesterday I forgot to mention. So they're Julan pastimes. Vilas is like enjoying, opulent, right? So Radha and Krishna had their Julan pastimes at Vilasgad. And so today from here we'll be going to on the way there's Pili Poker, then Prem Sarovar, Sanketha Gram. So we'll pass all this and we'll go to Nandagaon. Before that, I wanted to show the Mataji, I'll show. Can we see the videos related to yesterday? First, Mataji, is that okay? No, I'll show in the last.
Mataji, videos we can play at the end.
Yes.
What do you think? Yeah.
Yeah, no, because they have to again switch off the live also, so no problem. We'll start. Okay. Yes. So before that, we will see Pili Poker. Pili Poker is actually a very, very, very beautiful place. One of my very favorite places, actually. I like Pili Poker and Prem Sarovar both. So Pili Poker, what happened? Radharani had a lot of. She used to come to cook to Nandagaon every day for Krishna, because she had that boon from Durvasa Muni that whoever eats her food will be disease free. So Yashoda Maya requested if she can come and cook for Krishna every day. So she'll come every day and cook for Krishna. So whenever she come, because she's a very beautiful little girl, generally when we see small, like I'm seeing Vinita Gandharvika Mataji on the screen, whenever I see Brinda, I like to pamper her, because little girls, the way they behave, the way they dress, very pretty. So Yashoda Mai also started liking Radharani a lot. Oh, this girl is like, very beautiful. And if she gets, how nice it will be if she gets married to my Krishna. She will raise the, she will increase the prestige and the name and fame of our family. So like that, she used to think. And whenever she sees Radharani. So one day she was engrossed in that thoughts of thinking about Radharani, that, like she cooks very nicely. She's very, very traditional. She's very beautiful. So she was thinking about Radharani, and she takes Radharani on one side and engrossed in the thoughts, and like she rubs turmeric on her hand, haldi, on Radharani's palms. So when somebody applies turmeric to your palm, that means that you're engaged. So she applies, and then Radharani starts walking back to her house. Then what happened on the way, she feels a little embarrassed. She'll think, now what should I say if my mom or my dad sees? What should I say? So the Sakis will say, why don't you wash your hands in the lake there? So there was a lake there, and then she bent down. She nicely lifted her skirt, like how the little girls lift, and she started entering the lake. And then
Varsana Maharaj actually gave an article on in Dandavats. I don't know which year. He very detailedly explained. Like she was lifting her skirt, slowly entering the lake. Then she started washing her hands. While she was washing her hands, when she looked down, she saw her reflection in the lake. So when she saw the reflection, somehow she just felt, I think I should never leave Krishna. I think I should always, be beside Krishna. Like that, she actually, while rubbing, she was expressing all her bhav. All her thoughts, all her love. While expressing like that, she started washing her hands. She was washing. And the whole pond became with her hue, her color, golden color. So this this Pili poker is in gold and yellowish color. So then the Sakhi said, hey, Radhe, how much time will you wash? Come, let's go. If you keep washing, now I think the whole Vrindavan is going to become yellow. Let's go. So then they will take her. And actually it said that the kunds, whatever lakes and kunds are in Nandagaon, they're all reflecting Krishna's color, sapphire, bluish color. And Varsana is all goldish. Varsana kunds are all golden color, especially Pili poker. So then what happens is that, so then what happens, she goes back home. Then meanwhile, Krishna comes with his cows, and then he was searching for a calf because he missed a calf. He was searching for the calf. And as he was searching, he sees this lake. He's like, I have never seen this kind of yellow kund in Vrindavan. So he just gets like, he wants to know what that is, and he starts entering. He starts going down. He goes down until only his peacock feather is visible on the like on top of water. So he goes down, and then he comes out. When he comes out, he's in that golden color, and then he starts thinking, what is this? Always in Vrindavan, I am the object of love. I am not the subject. I am the object. Everybody loves me. But why am I feeling that, I am the subject now? I am not feeling that I am the object. And actually he got the bhav of Radharani, thinking about Krishna. And then he was talking to creepers, he was talking to the trees, he was asking about Krishna. Oh Krishna, how are you? Like that, he was feeling that bhav of Radharani. And Acharyas say that 5,000 years back, Krishna gave us the hint that he's going to come in the bhav of Radharani and in the complexion of Radharani. Then he comes out and he gets back. He gets back to his mood, and then he starts searching for the calf. So it is called as Pili poker. Pili is haldi, that yellow, and then poker is the kund, lake. So it's also called as Priya Kund. So that we will see Pili poker, and then as we are going, now we will come to Prem Sarovar. One of my very favorite picture. This picture is very, very, very beautiful. So if you see this, Radha and Krishna are crying. See, very nice. So they're crying, and what happened here was Prem Sarovar, right? So in this kund, so this is Prem Sarovar actually. So it's like a lotus, like lotus have 8 petals. I don't know what we call these parts. So there are 8 of these, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 on the other side. So 8 are there. So this Prem Sarovar, what happened was, one time Radha and Krishna were sitting here, and bees get so attracted to the fragrance, right? That's how they actually find the path and keep searching for that nectarian, that smell. So this bumblebee started coming towards Radharani because her breath, everything was smelling so good. So the bumblebee was coming, and always the bumblebee makes that sound like that's making sound, and Radharani was getting distracted. Then Madhumangal, he comes with the stick. If you see here, Madhumangal is there. So he comes with the stick and he will drive away that bumblebee. And the bee's name is also Madhu. So he will say, Madhu is gone, Madhu is gone. And Radharani, that much she loves Krishna that she didn't even realize that Krishna is sitting right there. She just heard that from Madhumangal that Madhu is gone, and she started crying and crying and crying and crying. Oh, my dear, Krishna is gone, Madhu is gone. She was not able to see anything. Her tears are completely covering her eyes. She's not seeing anything. She was just crying. And many times it happens to us also. When somebody else shows so much love towards us, our heart becomes so heavy. Sometimes when we feel, I don't know, most of us would have been experienced when we feel we don't deserve, or when so much of love is there, we become so heavy that tears start talking. We become emotional. So Krishna is thinking, oh my God, Radharani is crying. He couldn't see Radharani crying, and he started crying. He started crying, she started crying. Both of them are there only crying. And actually Krishna also sees, this is actually almost towards the end of Vrajalila for Krishna. It's almost getting end. He's going to go to Nandagaon. He's going to go to Mathura. So he started crying. And he also thinks that Radharani likes me so much. Like she cannot even, just a moment also she cannot, stay without me. Now it's time for me to go and do that Paritrahnaya Sadhunam. So he'll be thinking in his heart, now I think I have to leave, because the more I stay here, then the more and more she's going to get attached. Like that he'll be thinking here. And with their tears, this kund is formed. This sarovar, actually it's called sarovar because it's big. Kund is smaller, sarovar is big. So with their tears, with their love, this prem sarovar is formed. So very, very, somehow I get connected to this sarovar very much. I like it. This place is also very good. And the deities are also very beautiful. They have Shri Radha Prem Bihari. If you see, he looks so beautiful. This is feet. We can take his blessings. Look at his eyes like Radharaman. So this is about Prem Sarovar. And as we are going, there is another place called Sanketha. And they have this temple here. So Sanketha, in Telugu, Sanketha, we have that word. It means, I don't know in Hindi if it is there. But Sanketha means, Sanketha is giving signals, giving an indication. So this place is exactly in between Nandagaon and Varsana, if you see in the map also. So this is Sanketha, and this is Varsana, and we are going to Nandagaon. So it is in between. So the gopis would give signals, whatever Radharani wants to convey, what Krishna wants to convey from Varsana to Nandagaon, various ways. They also used to do Ras Leela here, Julan pastimes are there. Actually, various, like some different things they used to do signaling. Sometimes what we do to give signaling, we'll wink our eyes. Sometimes they'll pinch. I saw many people when they don't want to do, they just, the other person pinches, don't say. So various ways. They used to use mirrors to say something. They used to use umbrellas. So the gopis would do that communication through signaling between Radha and Krishna, Nandagaon and Varsana. So these are Radha Sankhet Bihari deities, and Gaurnita are also there. If you see again, the Gaurnita is hands. We have seen in Kamyavan also in temples, like the hands are there like this. So here also very merciful. They're asking us, please come, why are you wasting your time? So like that, the Gaurnita deities are there. And there's an underground temple. Oh, what happened? Sorry, I don't know, it went all the way. Sanketha Devi. If you go here, this is the temple, and an underground temple is also there. This is the deity. Sanketha Devi is also here. So then from Sanket Gram, we will come to, see, this is the Rasa Mandap. They did the Rasa Leela here. So this is there. This is, I think, newly built. And then as we are going, we have Gopal Bhatta Goswami's Bhajan Kutir. This one I remember very well. Some places I forgot, but 2019 when I went to this place, so I remember this. So Gopal Bhatta Goswami, we know, is one of our Shat Goswamis, and Radha Raman deity. We know the pastime where Gopal Bhatta Goswami was having the Shaligrams, and on the Narsimhadev appearance day, one rich merchant was distributing dresses to the deities, and he also developed a desire. How nice it would be if I have a deity, and I also could have dressed my deities very nicely. And then he has a lot of I think he has 12 Shaligrams. And once he goes to take bath in Yamuna, by the time he comes back, from one Shaligram manifested Radharaman. Very, very beautiful deity. Radharaman temple is beautiful. The deity is beautiful, very small. So Gopal Bhatta Goswami's beads are also there in that temple, but his Bhajan Kutir was here. That's pretty. And then after his Bhajan Kutir, we will come to Uddhav Kyari. So Uddhav Kyari is, we know that Uddhav came to console the gopis as per Krishna's instructions. So when he came here, this is the place he had the conversation with the gopis. He spoke to them, and Uddhav's deity is also here. This is the one you're seeing on the screen. And then there is Nanda Maharaj's Baitak. So Nanda Maharaj, because we are going to Nandagaon, so we have Nanda Maharaj's Baitak here. They used to sit, and Nanda Maharaj would call all the Vrajavasis. They all would sit there and they would talk. Maybe Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and Nanda Maharaj would say, hi, how come Krishna will be Supreme Personality of Godhead? If Supreme Personality of Godhead means he should not get angry. Krishna always gets angry. If he doesn't get food, he will get angry. He will break the pots. And Supreme Personality of Godhead means he should not steal. Krishna steals and he will tell lies. Supreme Personality of Godhead means he should not feel hungry. He eats 50 times in a day. So how can he be Supreme Personality of Godhead? Like that, Nanda Maharaj and they all would discuss. The Vrajavasis would discuss. All those discussions would happen here at Nanda Baitak. And then this is a very nice pastime here. So as we are going, we'll come to this How Bilav. There's a place called How Bilav. You can see these figures, these sculptures or figures. When you go, even now they are there. So this place, what happened? Now we are going very close to Nanda Bhavan, right? Nandagaon, Nanda Bhavan. So from Nanda Bhavan, like how many times our kids will play outside and we will keep an eye on them. So Yashoda Maya also thought she wants to keep Krishna in a distance where she can see him. But these kids would, while playing, they would go deep in the forest, deep inside. And to stop them, Yashoda Maya started saying, how means ghost. So she would say, Krishna, Kana, Kana, there is how there, don't go like that. And then Krishna Balaram would go there, and Krishna would come and say, I don't see any how, Maya, I don't see any how. Every day she would say, don't go, and they would go inside. She will say, no, they will go. So this is happening. So one time she will think, somehow I have to stop Krishna going deep into the forest. And what she does, she comes to Krishna, and she'll come to Krishna and Balaram saying that, to call, like, come back. When my kids also play, and I same thing happens. I say, don't go deep, they'll go somewhere out of the vision outside, that I have to go call them. So she came to call. Then what will she do? That day she wanted to scare them. So she will say, they're not even looking back, but Yashoda Maya faces them and she says, oh Krishna, oh Kana, oh Balaram, see, oh, how Bilav is coming. I'm going, and she starts running. And when she starts running, sometimes the kids they're very scared. He doesn't even want to look back if that is real or not. Krishna and Balaram didn't even want to look. And seeing Yashoda Maya getting so scared, they will start running. They will start running towards See, they will start running and they will go home to Nanda Maharaj, and they will say all the pastimes. Baba, do you know what? The how and how Bilav are there. The ghosts have come. Yashoda Maya came. So they would go run home and share all these pastimes, like how innocent kids share. They would share everything to Nanda Maharaj. And in this place, we have these deities are there. It's also believed that Nanda Maharaj worshipped this Varahadev and Narayan Bhagavan. So these deities are there, Varahadev, Narayan Bhagavan. Garga Muni asked him to worship, so these deities are there to protect Kana from the demons. So these are still there in this small temple as we go towards Nanda Bhavan. And then we are coming to Nanda Bhavan. I think we will stop here. We'll go to Nanda Bhavan tomorrow. And we will see the videos.
Okay, Mataji, we'll stop the recording and
stop there. Yes.
Thanks.